Hello dear students, welcome to mathematics class. In this class let us discuss three important theorems. One is Cauchy's inequality, and the second one is Liouville's theorem, and the third one is Morera's theorem. So among these three, let us discuss first one, that Cauchy's inequality. The statement of this one is, if f of z is analytic within and on a circle C given by mod z minus a is equal to r, and if mod f of z is less than or equal to m for every z on C, then mod f power n of a is less than or equal to n factorial divided by m divided by r power n. So here it is given that the equation of the circle is mod z minus a is equal to capital R, and the modulus of the function f of z is less than or equal to m. Then for every point z on the curve C, then this inequality holds good, and this is called as Cauchy's inequality. So let us prove this one. So we know that by the Cauchy's integral formula for derivatives, we can write that f power n of a is equal to n factorial divided by 2 pi I into integration over C f of z divided by z minus a whole power n plus 1 into dz. So here this is the Cauchy's integral formula for derivatives. So now let us apply the modulus on both sides, because we need mod of the f power n of a. So therefore it is mod of f power n of a is equal to mod of this one, that is n factorial 2 pi I integration over C f of z divided by z minus a whole power n plus 1 dz. Then this is equal to, so here n factorial and 2 pi I are constants. By taking the mod of them, we will get the same values. So n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over C mod f of z divided by mod z minus a whole power n plus 1 into here mod dz. So here we have applied modulus for each and every function on the integral separately. Now given that mod f of z is less than or equal to capital M, and mod z minus a is equal to r. So here mod z minus a is equal to r means, by using the polar form, that z minus a is equal to r into e power I theta, then dz equal to r into I into e power I theta d theta, and then modulus of dz is r and I are constants, then mod of e power I theta d theta, it implies that it is Ri, and we know that modulus of e power I theta is 1 into d theta, because we know that e power I theta is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta, then mod of e power I theta is square root of cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is equal to 1. So therefore, so let us consider this as equation number 1. Now equation 1 becomes mod f power n of a. Now here we are applying this inequality, so therefore this equality becomes less than or equal to n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over C. Now here mod f of z, that is capital M, mod z minus a is capital R power n plus 1, and mod dz, it is Ri d theta. So therefore I and I get cancelled and remaining n factorial divided by 2 pi, and here integration over c m divided by r, because here it is r and r power n plus 1 is there. So 1 r will get cancelled, then remaining with r power n in the denominator, and here it is d theta. So here we are using that theta, so therefore here theta lies between 0 and 2 pi. So therefore this integration over c becomes integration over 0 to 2 pi. So here integral, the variable is theta, so with respect to theta m and r are constants. So therefore this is less than or equal to n factorial divided by 2 pi into m divided by r power n integration over 0 to 2 pi d theta, right. Then here this is less than or equal to, so here n factorial divided by 2 pi as it is, and m divided by r power n. Then here integration of 0 to 2 pi d theta is there, integration of d theta is theta, and the limits are 2 pi and 0. So therefore its value is 2 pi. So therefore 2 pi and 2 pi get cancelled. Therefore mod of f power n of a is less than or equal to n factorial into m divided by r power n, which is the required proof of the Cauchy's inequality. The next theorem is the Liouville's theorem. Statement of this theorem is, if a function f of z is analytic for all finite values of z and is bounded, then f of z is constant. So here we need to prove that an analytic function which is bounded, then that function must be a constant function. So here to prove this one, we are going to use the Cauchy's integral formula and the concept of modulus. So here modulus means that is the distance of the point from the origin. So we know that z equal to x plus iy, right, and mod z can be written as modulus of square root of root of x square plus y square. This is nothing but that is the distance of the point z from the origin. Suppose this is the complex plane and this is the real line and this is the imaginary line, and suppose it is the point x comma y, it implies that it is x plus iy, right. So this is the origin. Then modulus of z means that is the point of, the distance of this point from the origin. So this is the mod z. So it is the meaning of modulus. So here by using this concept only, we are going to prove that f of z is constant. Suppose that the mod of z or the modulus of 2 points are equal, then those 2 points lie on the same point, because if you change this point, suppose here if you move the point from this position to this one, then the length will change, is it right. Suppose this length is same as this one, means the values of x and y are same. So it means that that is the constant function, because for the constant function, wherever you move, the distance from the origin will be same at each and every point. So therefore that is the meaning of the constant function in this case. So here for that we are considering two arbitrary points in the z plane or complex plane. So here z1 and z2 be two points of z plane. Choose the curve C to be a large scale radius capital R. So here capital R is the radius of the curve C, and that is as large as possible, and center at the origin, containing the points z1 and z2. Means that curve C contains the 2 points z1 and z2, means their modulus is always less than capital R, because that is contained in R means the distance, the modulus of those two functions, means the modulus radius means what? That is the distance between center and any point on the circumference of the curve. So here that is capital R is given. So therefore any point which lies inside that curve, that should have the radius small than capital R. So therefore mod z1 mod z2 less than capital R, and f of z is bounded, it is given here. So therefore by the definition of bounded function, there exists a positive number capital M such that mod f of z is less than or equal to M. So it is on the basis of the definition of bounded function. So now by using the Cauchy's integral formula, by Cauchy's integral formula, f of z1 is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi I integration over c f of z by z minus z1 dz, and f of z2 is equal to 1 by 2 pi I integration over c f of z divided by z minus z2 dz, because the Cauchy's integral formula is f of a is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi I integration over c f of z by z minus a dz. So by using this Cauchy's integral formula, we are applying the same formula for the 2 points z1 and z2. And now consider f of z1 minus f of z2, then it is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi I. So here f of z1 equal to this one and f of z2 is here. In these two, 1 divided by 2 pi I is common, so let us write that as the common thing. Then remaining integration over c f of z divided by z minus z1 dz minus integration over c f of z by z minus z2 dz. Then it is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi I, and again we can take two terms common, that is f of z dz and also the integral sign, because both the functions are integrating with respect to the same curve c and the variable of integration is also same. So therefore we can write this as integration over c 1 divided by z minus z1 minus 1 divided by z minus z2 into f of z dz. Then this is equal to 1 by 2 pi I integration over c, take the LCM and simplify. So here the LCM is z minus z1 into z minus z2, then the numerator, so here this numerator must be multiplied by z minus z2 minus z minus z1, that z will get cancelled, then remaining with z1 minus z2 divided by z minus z1 into z minus z2 f of z dz. So it is about f of z1 minus f of z2. Next, apply the modulus on both sides, that is mod of f of z1 minus f of z2 is equal to that 1 by 2 pi I is constant, so 1 by 2 pi I integration over c, and here apply modulus z1 minus z2 divided by z minus z2, so z1 z minus z2 f of z dz. Then applying the modulus separately, now this inequality becomes less than or equal to 1 by 2 pi I integration over c mod z1 minus z2 mod f of z mod dz divided by mod z minus mod z1 and mod z minus mod z2. So applying the modulus separately for each and every term on RHS. This is less than or equal to 1 divided by 2 pi I here integration over c mod z1 minus z2, and we know that mod f of z is less than or equal to capital M, and mod dz divided by here we know that this is mod z minus mod z1 mod z minus mod z2. So here it is given that, or we have considered the curve C whose center is origin and whose radius is capital R. So therefore the equation of the curve is given by mod z equal to R, because its center is 0 comma 0 and the radius is capital R, which is given by z equal to R into e power I theta. Then dz equal to R into I into e power I theta d theta mod dz, that is Ri d theta. Then here theta lies between 0 to 2 pi. Then the above equation becomes mod f of z1 minus f of z2 is less than or equal to 1 by 2 pi I mod z1 minus z2 integration over 0 to 2 pi. Here m is also constant, let us write that outside. So m divided by 2 pi I mod z1 minus z2. Here dz is equal to what? R into I into d theta divided by, here we know that mod z equal to R, so therefore R minus mod z1 R minus mod z2, right. Then here this is less than or equal to m divided by 2 pi I mod z1 z2. So here Ri divided by that R minus mod z1 into R minus mod z2, here remaining 0 to 2 pi d theta. Then this is less than or equal to, here I and I get cancelled, m divided by 2 pi I mod z1 minus z2 R divided by R minus mod z1 into R minus mod z2, here its value is 2 pi, so 2 pi also get cancelled. Now let us rewrite this as m into mod z1 minus z2, here r divided by, here we can take that r common, then 1 minus mod z1 divided by r, again r is common, 1 minus mod z2 divided by r. Just we have taken that r common from each term. And now here, as r tends to infinity, so here r tends to infinity because here C is a curve large scale radius, so means r is large. So here we are applying r tends to infinity. So whenever r tends to infinity, this total term becomes 0 because here r and r get cancelled, right? So whenever we are applying the r tends to infinity, this becomes 1 by infinity, means this is 0, then here remaining 1, here also this becomes 1. So therefore 1 divided by r is remaining, so 1 by r means r is tending to infinity, so 1 by infinity is 0, then 0 into this one, that is also equal to 0. So therefore this total quantity becomes 0 as r tends to infinity. So as r tends to infinity, it implies that m into mod z1 minus z2 into 1 divided by this r into 1 minus mod z1 by r into 1 minus mod z2 by r is tends to 0. So therefore mod f of z1 mod f of z2 is equal to 0. If this difference is equal to 0, then it implies that mod f of z1 is equal to mod f of z2. So here we are getting the same modulus for two different points. So as I earlier we told that whenever we are getting the modulus same, then the points must be equal. So therefore here mod f of z1 and mod f of z2 means at two different points the function is having the equal modulus. It is possible only when the function is a constant function. So therefore it implies that f of z is constant, hence the proof, because we need to prove that that function is a constant function. So on the basis of the modulus of a function, we have proved that f of z is a constant function. For this we have used Cauchy's integral formula. Then by taking the difference of them, we have proved that mod f of z1 equal to mod f of z2. So those two modulus are equal only when the function is a constant function. The next and last theorem of the second unit is Morera's theorem. Statement: if f of z equal to u plus iv, where u and v are functions of x and y having continuous partial derivatives in the region capital R, and integration over c f of z dz equal to 0, for every simple closed curve C in the region, then show that f of z is analytic in a region R. So here f of z equal to u plus iv, that is the function of a complex variable where u and v are functions of x and y, and here u and v are having the continuous partial derivatives, means dou u by dou x, dou u by dou y, dou v by dou x and dou v by dou y are exist in the region capital R. And also it is given that integration over c f of z dz equal to 0, means the function will satisfy the Cauchy's theorem. Then for every simple closed curve C in that region, then f of z is analytic in the same region. So let us prove this one. So we know that analytic function, for a function to be analytic, that has to satisfy the CR equations. So therefore here we need to prove that this function satisfies the CR equations, then it is enough to say that the function is analytic. So now integration over C f of z dz is equal to integration over C f of z equal to what? U plus iv, and dz is dx plus I dy, because z equal to x plus iy, then dz is dx plus I dy, then it is integration over C. Now multiplying these two and separating the real and imaginary parts, we get u dx minus v dy plus I into u dv plus v dx, and consider this as first equation. And already we know the statement of Green's theorem, because we have already used that while proving the Cauchy's theorem. So therefore here by Green's theorem, integration over C p dx plus q dy is equal to double integration over r dou q by dou x minus dou p by dou y into dx dy. So therefore applying the same Green's theorem for these two, then here LHS is integration over C f of z dz is equal to double integration over r, and for this one this is minus dou v by dou x and minus dou u by dou y plus I into dou u by dou x minus dou v by dou y into dx dy. So here we have applied the Green's theorem for each and every term. So here integration over r is common for both the terms. So therefore we have written that as common into this dou u dou v by dou x minus dou v by dou y plus I into dou u by dou x minus dou v by dou y dx dy. So here compare this with this p dx plus q dy, and here u dv plus v dx. So coefficient of dx is p and coefficient of dy is q. So here q equal to minus v and p equal to u, and here so here it is y, then q equal to u and p is equal to v. So now given that integration over C f of z dz equal to 0, then here the LHS is equal to 0, that is equal to double integration over r minus dou v by dou x minus dou u by dou y plus I into dou u by dou x minus dou v by dou y into dx dy. So here now it is a complex number which is of the form x plus iy. So if x plus iy is equal to 0, it implies that x equal to 0 and y equal to 0, because a complex number is 0 means its real and imaginary parts both are equal to 0. So now this complex number is equal to 0, it means that its real and imaginary parts are equal to 0. So therefore it implies that minus dou v by dou x minus dou u by dou y is equal to 0, and dou u by dou x minus dou v by dou y is equal to 0. So now it implies dou u by dou y equal to minus dou v by dou x, and dou u by dou x equal to dou v by dou y. So it implies that CR equation satisfied, right? CR equations satisfied. So if CR equation satisfied, then we can say that f of z is analytic. So hence the proof. So by this theorem, the second unit, that is complex integration, is completed, and from the next video let us start the third unit.